this is a little prisoner of the moment-y, but I don't know, man. We can't say this guy's having the greatest rookie season of all time. He might make the Super Bowl. Wild just showed a graphic where of all the quarterbacks left, he's the only one playing at an all-pro level. Everyone else is just kind of mistake avoidance. And we all think the defense isn't that good. Offensive line just has two former chief backups as its left guard and right tackle, and they're making it happen. And then atop the mountain, of course, is Patrick.
All right. We're here. I just wanted to really isolate this because Nick's finally truly admitting it and accepting how special Jayden Daniels has been this season. You know, he redid the tiers based off of the whole season for the whole league. And you can see, obviously we know he's going to have Mahomes at the top, even though clearly Jayden Daniels played better than Patrick Mahomes this season. I mean, it's undeniable how special Jayden Daniels has been this season. And it's not just the insane stats. It's not just that he is a rookie quarterback. It's more than that. It's not that he just took the Washington Commanders from irrelevancy to now literally the NFC Championship game. It's if you just actually watch him play. That's where some stats can be your friend, and sometimes they can be your enemy, and sometimes they can just be an imaginary friend. Because you have to really watch how some of these games unfold and what they're asking any quarterback to do in any given moment, and who he's doing it with, and how, and why. There's just so many variables. So even if we just want to strip the rookie, name on his back, even if we just want to remove the whole who are you playing with, who are you not playing with, who's your coach, who's not your coach, it's the throws, the reads, the execution, the runs, the escapability, the scrambles for throws and scrambles for runs. I mean, it's just been extraordinary. That's why I keep saying we're witnessing Patrick Mahomes in his rookie season. That's what Jayden Daniels is. And people are still doubting that. And it's just makes my head hurt, man. It does. It makes my head hurt because it's just so nonsensical. It's just so, someone's like, oh, you're overreacting about Jayden Daniels. Okay. And of course it was a Patrick Mahomes fan and a Kansas City Chiefs fan. And it's like, well, now here you have Mr. Kansas City Patrick Mahomes himself saying that Jayden Daniels had the best rookie year ever. So I always find it funny when a lot of those people are like, oh, Nick Wright is the only one that knows anything. He speaks the truth. He speaks the truth. And then when something maybe is a little bit opposite of what you feel like, you're like, nah, he's wrong. It's like, oh, really? Interesting. Very interesting. There's still just a doubt. And it made sense to me why going into this season, why people had doubts about Jayden and Caleb and Bo and all these guys, because they're a rookie quarterback. So I get it. It really makes sense to me. I understand it. I get it. And then I even also, to a large degree, understand why there's doubts about Josh Allen, Lamar, Burrow, because we've seen them play throughout the years. We've seen them, succeed, fail in the playoffs, succeed, fail, head-to-head matchups. We've seen a lot of the different variations. So when I come out and say, oh, I think Josh Allen's the best quarterback, I can still understand why people are like, no, that's not true. That's not true. What about this? Okay. But when we're talking about this season, there's no argument against it. I don't understand how people can see Jayden play and still reject just how special he is and what he's been able to do. And again, how he's been able to do it and why he needs to do it in any given moment. I mean, it's just I really don't understand. I really don't. Lamar Jackson is the first quarterback ever to reach the 4,900 club, a made-up club. that Jayden Daniels would have done if he didn't get taken out of the Panthers game and didn't get taken out of the Cowboys game because he was resting to go into the playoffs. Like, Jayden Daniels would have had that, let alone if he wasn't banged up during a couple of those games, he would have had it too. But even if we just want to say, well, hey, the best availability is availability, fine, he still would have had it. He still would have gotten it done. I mean, that's insanity. And again, it's not just the numbers. It's how you get there. So when you can see how he got there, it's pretty special. It's pretty special. And no, he does not have this stacked roster. Does he have a better roster than people maybe originally thought going into the season because some of the moves they made? Sure. And I believe that he has a brilliant offensive coordinator in Cliff Kingsbury. I do. But that doesn't take away from what he's been able to accomplish in year one. Year one. So yeah, I think it's an incredibly big deal what Jayden Daniels has been able to accomplish this season. And it's just, what more do you want this guy to do? Like, where does the doubt continue to come? Where does the rejection continue to come? I don't understand. What do you want him to do? Seriously, what else do you want him to do? And that's annoying, because if he loses to the Eagles, they'll be like, oh, I told you he was overrated. He wasn't good, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, he only played good because, you know, the Lions defense was injured. And it's like, okay, right. Because he has to beat the Philadelphia Eagles on the road, a division rival, the third game of the season, the third time that they, you know, played each other as a rookie against a stacked roster. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what? Like, it's just, we constantly create situations that make it inescapable for some of these people. People love to just constantly create lose-lose situations. Lose-lose situations. And then we become so... It just becomes so smoke and mirrors. And a lot of inconsistencies. Like, for instance, Nick, going into that final week of the season, was making real arguments as to why he thought Goff or Darnold would be the MVP or could be the MVP. And then they both lost, and they lost, you know, they lost, you know, Darnold obviously lost the final game of the season. Goff won that game because they played each other, and then they both lost in the playoffs. And now he was like, oh, now they're at the bottom. And it's like, huh? Well, so one game they were literally going to be the MVP, and then they didn't, you know, they weren't able to come out on top, and so now that just makes them completely collapse to the bottom. Because just wait, that's what will happen with Jayden. Just wait. His first bad game, first kind of game that doesn't go exactly according to plan, whether it's this year, next year, whatever. They're like, oh, I told you he was overrated. I'm still taking so-and-so over him. You know, and it's like, I don't know. It is so funny to hear Nick put Jayden at the top like that, and I'm not doing any victory laps. I did that on Monday. I'm not going to keep doing it. I'm not that petty. I'm not that smug, but like, this is what I've been screaming all year. Like, literally all year. I've been saying Jayden's at the top. Jayden's at the top. And again, just this postseason alone, what Jayden's doing. 4 touchdowns, no interceptions. 0 turnover-worthy plays. 0. That's special. That's special. And they already tried to downplay it by saying, well, he played indoors against a bad defense. That's a contributor. No one can deny that. Wasn't a 100% healthy defense, and he was indoors. These other quarterbacks were outdoors against harder defenses. Totally fair. You know, Hurts was in a snowstorm. Mahomes was in like a pretty freezing cold game. And Allen was also in like a cold, snowy game. So I get it. But let's not pretend like all quarterbacks in this situation just right. Jared Goff was in a dome with perfect weather. Baker Mayfield played outside in perfect weather with Jayden Daniels. The weather wasn't a factor for Jordan Love versus Hurts in the first game of the playoffs. You know, weather really wasn't. I'm trying to think if weather was really an impact on any of the first, wild card weekend. I can't remember, honestly. I don't know if there was any like true weather impacted games outside of it just being like a little bit colder. I don't think there was like any like snow or rain, but I could be wrong. So yeah, we can keep putting up resistance. We can keep saying, well, let's see what he does next year. And it's like, okay, fine. If you want to live in that world where you want to keep doing that, again, be my guest. Go for it. Cool. Go do that. You walk that path. I'll be right behind you. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about Jayden Daniels being at the top? Finally. Maybe not at the tippy top, but pretty much as high as you can get, considering it's, Knicks Mahomes Mountain. Pretty impressive. Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment, so whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions. Let's get in some fights, but ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We're building an amazing community here, and I absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to, something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.